So here's the question, okay? When couples end up getting pregnant, right, and they're having a baby, what are the rules on telling people? Because this guy, he got in so much trouble. Happy apple picking day! Welcome back, my lovelies. And for our new friends, let me explain really quick. People send in stories to my subreddit, r/amIthebadapple, where they don't know if they acted appropriately or not. Every Tuesday on apple picking day, we pick 4, we read them, and we think about it. Were they a good apple? A bad apple? A crab apple? That's for us to decide. We all come from different branches of the apple tree with our own thoughts and experiences, and those shape opinions. So sometimes we tend to disagree because we just have different perspectives, and that's okay. Sometimes you might be able to change someone's mind, and sometimes someone might be able to change your mind, and sometimes nobody changes their mind, and that, again, is okay. We discuss civilly in the comments, and that helps build our community and our communication skills. I love it. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for refusing to help out around the house? I moved in with my friend, her adult daughter, and her fiance with my 2 kids, 12 and 9. I'm paying $1,000 a month for 2 rooms and help getting the kids to bed when I work, and sometimes up for school as well. I provide our own food. I already clean the bathroom that we use. I think it's a pretty fair deal. My friend recently let me know that he wants to add vacuuming the stairs and the upstairs landing to our deal. Her adult daughter does absolutely nothing around the house. 0 chores at all from her. I feel like I shouldn't have to do chores if I'm already paying $1,000 a month to live there. They barely help with my kids as it is. Am I the bad apple? What in the entitlement? Is this real? Am I being trolled? Are there cameras somewhere around here? I don't know where you guys all live, but where I live, which is a pretty, not only like a nice area, but like nationally is known to be a pretty affordable area as well. Rent can easily be almost $2,000 a month. My brother right now is living in a townhouse that he rents. It's 3 bedrooms, and the total rent for a place like that is $2,400. $2,400 for 3 bedrooms. And you know, everyone that lives there does all the cleaning and all the cooking, like they do everything, you know? $1,000 for 2 bedrooms? Wow. And like you say, you clean your bathroom. I'm guessing your bedrooms as well. That's it. That's it. Your friend is a kind person, a very kind person. And the fact that like you're refusing to just vacuum the stairs and the upstairs landing when you have such a sweet situation, that's crazy to me. And honestly, who cares if her daughter doesn't do anything? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not your house, so it's not your business. Your friend pays the mortgage, your friend pays the utilities, things like that. It's your friend's business who does what around the house, not yours. It's also not your job to parent other people's kids. You said adult daughter. I don't know how old she is. Not my business. Now, let me go ahead and put on my legal brain for a moment. Am I an expert? No, that's Avery. But I'm gonna do my best. If you moved in under a contract saying that this is gonna be what you pay and this is gonna be what you do and this is what you get in return, then legally, no, I don't think your friend can add that in, because like that's not what's in the contract. Like you can make an amendment, I think, but like I don't think she can add it. But there's no mention of a contract, leading me to believe there isn't one. So technically your friend can ask you to do whatever she wants. Now, like obviously if she asks for something crazy, I would just say no, but I don't think she's asking for anything crazy. Like I don't think it's unrealistic to say you're taking up 2 rooms in my house and you're only paying $1,000 a month and you're not paying the utilities. You're only helping out with your spaces and what, the stairs? Oh, you have to pay for your own food and clean your own bathroom. Oh. If you were living in your own place, you would be paying way more than $1,000 a month, but cleaning the entire space and still responsible for your food and like doing all the utilities. Like you have a really sweet deal, and I feel like you need to understand that you're in a very good situation, and I think that adding vacuuming the stairs is not a big deal. Come on, my guy. I'm going bad apple. I think this guy is being very entitled. I don't like it. That's my decision. I'm going bad apple. Do you guys agree? Like, am I missing something? Am I being too harsh? Let me know down in the comments what you got. I'm excited to see. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for firing our family therapist? My ex and I have a 12-year-old boy who's going through some things. We found a therapist and we've been seeing her for a couple of years. It hasn't been life-changing for me in any way. In fact, it became more of a pointless chore, like making your bed or folding your underwear. Like, I might have gotten a few things out of it, but I wouldn't choose to do it again. A few weeks ago, I told our therapist that it's bizarre to not have to worry about money for the first time in my life. I make good money and don't have many bills, so I'm saving like $1,000 a month. Last week, the therapist asked me if I could start making a copay. I don't have a copay because my insurance covers 100% of therapy sessions. And I explained that to her. She said that's true, but maybe I could start paying like $20 in cash because she's not making a lot of money with what my insurance pays her.
Think of it like a tip.
She told me. I was at a loss for words. And I suppose this has no relation to me telling you that I had disposable income from weeks ago? She said, oh, of course not. It was like she was asking me for a raise or something. I told her I'd think about it. I found nothing online about tipping your therapist. I talked to my ex about it and said, I'm definitely firing that therapist. She told me not to throw away 2 years of work, and I said, this therapist is trying to take advantage of me. My ex said that she would pay the $20, and I said, I'm not stopping you, but I'm not doing the sessions anymore, and neither is our son, especially not with that therapist. The trust I had in her was just forever broken. I called her, left a voicemail and a text message explaining to the therapist that we're no longer in need of her services, and haven't heard back. Until today, when she contacted me and said I totally misunderstood the whole tip thing, but no. So I just need a little bit of validation. Was I the bad apple here? Is that even legal for her to ask that? Hey, Avery?
Yes.
Are medical professionals allowed to ask for a tip? That's like illegal, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, I don't think that's legal. And if someone who knows better than me wants to like elaborate on that in the comments, obviously Avi's an attorney and is very intelligent, but this isn't his sphere of work. So like, he doesn't know all the details, and that's fine. So yeah, not only are you not a jerk for not only like being uncomfortable, dropping her, like that's so valid. I would even maybe contact your provider, like the insurance company. I don't know the situation. I know some therapists like are in a like business of multiple therapists, like, you know what I mean? Like some doctors have their own practice, but some are in like a medical group kind of thing. Like whatever the situation is, if she has a boss and the insurance company, like I would contact both because that's illegal, at the very least, incredibly unethical. I would better be safe than sorry. I would also be very uncomfortable. Like, I can totally feel for the fact that when it comes to insurances and things like that, like, the insurance company probably doesn't pay her enough. That doesn't mean you resort to unethical and possibly illegal practices to, like, bridge that gap. No. Good apple. That's what I'm going with. And again, can't wait to see some of y'all who are a little bit more experienced in that. Can't wait to see your explanations in the comment section. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for not giving my niece a stuffed animal to help her sleep? I'm 25 female and my husband is a 24-year-old male. My sister, 31 female, was over with my 3-year-old niece. My niece was tired and wanted to take a nap, so my sister brought her into my bedroom while I was in the bathroom. I had no idea what my sister was doing. Apparently, she found my husband's old stuffed polar bear. When I noticed she had it, I said, oh, no, sweetheart, I'm so sorry, and I took it from her. My sister said, no, you need to give that back. She can't sleep without a stuffed animal. You need to just let her have it. I explained to her that my husband's very first foster parents gave this to him, and it stayed with him all throughout his years in the foster system. It really gets him through a lot. Even to this day, he has severe PTSD and panic attacks. Plus, this bear has been stitched back together so many times. It's It's fragile and over 10 years old. I'm sorry, but she can't use this. My sister said,
Your husband's 24 years old. My daughter's still growing and developing. Her needs are so much more important right now.
I said, that polar bear isn't yours and it's also not mine, so I don't know what to tell you. She got annoyed and said that my husband aged out of the foster system years ago, and she doesn't understand why he still holds on to it, and that if the foster family loved him so much, they would have just adopted him, but they didn't. I said that's besides the point, that if she knew her daughter can't sleep without a stuffed animal, then why didn't she bring one? She got all mad and offended that I turned it on her, and she just left. I told my husband what happened, and he thanked me for having compassion for things that are important to him. My sister, though, insists that I'm in the wrong. So I just need to know if I am. I mean, it wasn't mine to lend to her, and I know how important it is to my husband, but I still love my niece, and like, her getting what she needs is still important to me. So was I the bad apple? I say this a lot when these kinds of situations come up, and I'm gonna say it again. For everyone in the back that just can't seem to hear me. You having kids and your children doesn't trump and dictate everybody else's lives. Things that are important to them are still important to them. They don't need to always change their day. Whether you're at Disney World and you're all mad that an adult's having fun when it's like a children's theme park. Whether you're that Karen that wants childless millennials to stay away from Disney because you think it should just be for your kids. No. Or think that your kid can go screaming around a restaurant because like you just want 5 minutes of peace and you feel like they should be able to get their energy out while everyone else is just trying to enjoy a meal. No. Someone's sentimental belongings are still their sentimental belongings, whether your kid wants a stuffed animal or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody else's world does not revolve around the fact that you decided to have children. Your kids are very cute. I'm so glad you have them and love them and you want them to have the best things in the world. And I know this might hurt your feelings. Other people don't have your kid as their first priority. And if they don't know you, like if it's not their niece or their friend or their whatever, they probably don't care. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it hurts other people's feelings when you decide they don't matter because you think your kid should be able to dictate everyone's time and experience and yada yada yada. So I'm going good apple. I think it's wonderful that this woman put her foot down for something that was so sentimental to her husband. That's very sweet. I would have done the exact same thing. Absolutely not. And I think this is just another case of a very entitled person. Like, how dare you, first of all? How dare you?
Well, he's 24 and she's 3.
So what? What does that mean? And I cannot believe it came out of her mouth.
Well, if they loved him so much, why didn't they adopt him?
Shut up. That makes me so mad. How dare you? How dare you? I'm at a loss for words. I'm not gonna act like I understand anything about the adoption process or the foster care system. I don't have any experience with that whatsoever. I did meet a content creator that a lot of his content revolves around being a foster parent and like going through the adoption process with some of those kids. Very sweet individual. I cannot wait to like chat with him more and like get to know him better. I like want to learn so much. I just don't know how all that works. So I would love if like anyone has experience in this world, like share your stories. Like I just want to hear them, you know. But I think it's really gross to insinuate that just because a foster parent didn't adopt a child doesn't mean they didn't love that child. Like every child that goes through that system is deserving of love. I know there are some individuals that become foster parents for the wrong reasons, and that's disgusting. But the ones who go into it for the right reasons, you know, it's kind of like I can't foster, I know this is so different, like I hope no one gets offended by this analogy. I just, like this is the only experience that I have with this, but like fostering cats, like I can't keep 10, 15 cats, right? Like I can't do it. And I know that I would want to. So like I can only imagine when you come into the sweetest kids who like are deserving of that love and deserving of that home and deserving of that family. It's a really big decision to become a legal guardian for a child. Like I can only imagine what that must be like. And I think just deciding like,
oh, well, they didn't adopt him, so they must not love him.
That's gross behavior. I hate it. Not happy about that. So if I didn't say it already, good apple for OP, like she was right. 100% love her for everything she did. And also the idea of like, this bear isn't mine and it's not yours, so like I can't lend it to you, it doesn't belong to me. Like just, even if she didn't know if it was sentimental to her husband or not, just the idea of like respecting his belongings like that, like here for it. apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for telling my mom my wife is pregnant? A few days ago, my wife, 28, and I, 30, found out she's pregnant. We've been trying for about a year, and this is her rainbow baby. We're both obviously super happy and so excited to become parents. Yesterday, I went to lunch with my mom and I told her the news. She was so thrilled for my wife and I didn't think anything of it until when I told my wife that I told my mom. She was immediately furious with me. She said she wasn't ready for people to know given how her last pregnancy ended, and she said that now because my mom knows she's pregnant, she's now gonna know if something goes wrong, and she's not comfortable with that. But I asked her why it's such a big deal. All she could say is, it just is. And that I wouldn't understand. In my defense, it's not just her news to share, okay? It's ours. And I feel like I was completely reasonable to tell my mother, as she's an immediate family member who I'm very close with. I also know for a fact that she already told her sister, so I just don't see how me telling my mom is a problem. And I mean, she never communicated to me that she wanted me to keep the news to myself. A day later, and she's still very mad at me. I'm getting the silent treatment, and she avoids me like I'm the one who did something bad. Again, I don't think I did anything wrong here. While I get that it's her body and all, I think it's unfair that she can tell her support system, but I'm not allowed to tell mine. So was I the bad apple? I don't have experience in this, and that like, I've never been pregnant, I've never had a child or anything like that. Like Avery and I have no kids. I've never experienced anything like a miscarriage or anything like that. And I just can't even imagine the kind of pain and grief that comes with that. I feel like this could be a hot take. I don't think it should be, but I feel like it could be a hot take. But I feel like, you know, the woman who actually has the miscarriage is gonna go through a harder time than the guy, right? Like that shouldn't be a hot take. Right? That shouldn't be, I feel like that shouldn't be controversial. Knowing keyboard warriors, I feel like somebody in the comments is gonna get mad about it. But like, so like your wife already had a more difficult time with that, right? Because she's the one, you know, it's her body. Like, I can't even imagine the kind of guilt and self-blame that might come with something like that a guy just wouldn't experience, right? Because like his body can't do anything about it, right? You know what I mean? So I feel like with that trauma already being in her brain, it's 100% reasonable for her to dictate like how long she wants to wait to make sure that it doesn't happen again, because miscarriages, they're not talked about often enough. I've never had experience with this, but like I have a lot of friends who have been trying to have kids and things like that. It is unfortunately so common, and because it's not talked about enough, I feel like a lot of women who go through this process just feel alone and isolated and might blame themselves, and they might not even realize how unfortunately common it is, because people don't talk about it. And I think it's completely reasonable for this woman to be scared and nervous. You know, she's probably watching herself under a microscope, looking and feeling for anything that might feel the tiniest bit off, just to, you know, be prepared. Like, I can't even imagine how she's probably feeling, bless her heart. So I think her getting upset that, you know, not only is she watching herself, but she feels like your mom is also watching her. And she might not be, but I can see her feeling like she is, you know, like looking for, how's you doing? How's the baby? Is it healthy? Is it gonna happen again? Like, that is just so unfair mentally to like make her feel that way. And I know you didn't mean to. I know that like it's not something that even crossed your brain. I get that. But you know, that is now the reality of what's happening. And I hope to goodness that this pregnancy goes well and smooth and that there's a happy ending. I wish you all the best. Truly, I do. But I do think that this was a jerk move. I don't think it was intentional. Originally, I wanted to go crabapple because I think you're just so excited and ecstatic and you want to shout from the rooftops how happy and excited you are, right? And you want your loved ones to share in that excitement. And you're right, it is your child. But right now, this is her body that she right now is overanalyzing and probably really paranoid about. And I think that when she told you how upset she was and how much this upset her, and now she's, you know, paranoid because now your mom's gonna know if something happens, and that's really like upsetting to her and you just kind of,
well, I didn't do anything wrong. This is my news too. Blah, 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 blah. What about me? What about me? What about me?
what about you? And I know someone's already down in the comments because they're like, what do you mean? He's the dad, it's his kid too. But like, this is another one of those situations where there's just nuance about relationships, right? Like, you should be able to look at your wife and what she went through and kind of understand, you know. You should just be able to see that pain in her eyes, and instead of doubling down and, well, this is my stuff too, but like, can you not take a moment and step back and see how this has impacted your wife? I know that you're not going to understand what it's like to physically carry a child. I mean, I don't even understand that, you know? But like, for you not to even be able to like take a second to consider before or after this happened, like, that just is disappointing to me. I think what I'm gonna do, because again, I don't have the experience and I'm so terrified to like go too lenient or too harsh and then have like everyone get mad at me, because like I've never experienced it, you know? It can sometimes be hard to like gauge what I think about a situation that like I have no experience in, you know? So sometimes I do rely on you guys on changing my mind in the comments. So I think this is gonna be one of those things where I go bad apple. Like, I think you're wrong. I think you're 100% wrong for telling your mom, and I would have stopped at crab apple, but the doubling down and completely disregarding her fears and frustrations, like, I'm going bad apple. And we'll see if anyone can change my mind in the comments and convince me to go more lenient. I don't know if you can with the doubling down part, but we'll see. So I got 2 good apples and 2 bad apples. We went 50-50 over here. At least that's what I got. I want to know what you guys got. As always, I don't always get to respond to all the comments, but like, I really do like reading them. So definitely tell me. I can't wait to see what you guys got. And for your well wishes, Halloween is so close. So I hope you guys have the best time, you know, whatever you do, if you observe Halloween at all, you know, carving pumpkins, decorating your house. If you don't decorate, I hope you enjoy seeing the decorations around. Hope you stock up on some candy. Take a few extra pieces for yourself. That's what you need to do for yourself. Take a few pieces of that Halloween candy and take some for yourself. You deserve it. Oh, I feel like I gotta take a trip to Target tomorrow. As always, if you want a chance for one of your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send it to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. I hope you have a really great day, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.